Welcome to today's recap of the NASDAQ 100 futures. My name is Chris and I am the Algo Man here on TikTok as well as over on our YouTube channel. And I was thinking about what to do today, guys, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do another recap of something that we normally do every now and then. I know we've been kind of mixing it up with different time frames, trading styles and everything, but we're going to go elephant hunting today. I just kind of feel that this might be a great day to illustrate the whole elephant hunting process. We're not going to chase every little swing, not trying to trade every tick. What we're waiting for is for the move that matters, the one that can carry, guys. Because what's the point of trading if you can never catch real momentum, right? Here's how we do it. First, we're going to lean into the 1 minute chart using Simo Pro. This tool down here that's got the yellow and the cyan line, okay? Not to overtrade. And that's a very important point. But to spot the earliest whisper of a trend beginning. That's the whole point of it right there. That's your first cue. The moment that Simo moves into its threshold zone, whether it's above 0.90 or below 0.80 right there, that's when we pause. Reset your mind and get ready. But you don't act yet, guys. And the reason you don't is because then you shift over to your 2 minute chart for confirmation. You don't pull the trigger unless it lines up, right? And of course, on the 2 minute chart, you've got your ABC process. You need structure, momentum, and confirmation, all three in sync. And if any of them fails, you step back. And that's how you avoid false starts and losses and noise. Now, let's be clear. You don't have to master both systems right away, which is the hunting cycles and, the hunting elephants. We got the cycle hunters and the hunting elephants, systems. You've got two frameworks right there that I've kind of put together for you guys, okay? And again, it's hunting elephants and cycle hunters, right? If you try to do both at once, you're going to end up average at both. What I suggest is, look, guys, you pick one that resonates with your style, stick to it, master it, then expand. Okay, one of them can pay your bills for a very long time, okay? But what you need to do is you need to be master of one of those systems and just really ride it to its full advantage, okay? So today, we'll apply the elephant hunting system live right here. And I'll run the charts. I'll show you where the 1 minute gave the tip, where the 2 minute confirmed, and how we execute it, okay? And then I'll say it clearly, okay? What you just saw, that's real algorithmic trading, okay? That's a system doing what it's meant to do. No guesswork, no emotion, just edge, guys, right? So that's what we're going to run today with right there. We're going to do the elephant hunting system right there. I've had quite a few requests on this in the last couple of days. I've just had like 6 or 7 emails from people just saying, hey, man, can you repeat that process? I got a whole playlist on this, guys, but they want to see me do it again. So I'm like, hey, no problem, man. Be happy to do it. Be happy to reiterate what you guys already have over on the playlist. No problem at all. So without any further delay, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this, okay? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo. Here we go. This is the 1 minute chart. And remember, we are only staring at this 1 minute chart for the early onset of the trend. And what are we looking for? We're looking for momentum to either break above or come below the threshold right there, okay? So that's the first bar of the day, guys. I'm not going to trade the first bar of the day. I'm going to let that bad boy just run. And then as the morning session begins to unfold, we'll go ahead and see where we see opportunity, okay? First couple of bars of the day, my style of trading. I don't jump in, guys. I wait. I let the market shake out a little bit. I'm not looking at anything else other than Simo Pro on this chart. And remember, this is part of a 2-part process, okay? So we're not looking at this with the intention of taking any trades on the 1 minute chart. We're looking at this with the sole intention of finding the early onset of a trend and then confirming that on the 2 minute time frame. And that's exactly what we're aiming to do today. And in the process, you might see some fake outs as well, which is just as important as spotting the real entries on the 2-minute, okay? So we're going to go over both, and I want you guys to really enjoy the process, okay? Because if you master this, guys, like I said, this is going to pay your bills for a very long time. So let's go ahead and see how this all shakes out, all right? So far right here, guys, we have the morning huff and puff, which kind of faded really quick the moment that momentum started to wane right there. You got a little pivot trade right there. Always remember, guys, that your pivot trades are just that. They are very short-term lived trades, and that's typically when momentum is coming down and everything just sort of pivots right there. Those are very short-term trades. They don't really lead to anything that has meat on the bone, so I'm very precautious about taking those type of trades, especially if you're trading in a cyclic environment. But today, we're not focused on the cyclic environment. We're focusing on the early onset of a trend, okay? So what we're focused on, and keep this in mind, is we are focused on momentum either rising above 0.90 or sinking below 0.80. That is the key to this 1-minute chart right here, right? So here we are, guys. We're inside the 15-bar VWAP. Nothing that normally originates in the 15-bar VWAP ends up taking off or doing well. Okay, this is typically an area of consolidation right here, all right? So just bounced off the 80 right there at the bottom. So right now, guys, you're watching this, and you're not taking any trades, okay? You're being patient, and you're being patient for one very specific thing. You're waiting for momentum to either rise above 0.90 or sink below 0.80. That's it. That's all you're doing. Again, guys, you're stuck in this 15-bar VWAP. Bunch of noise right there. It's not going, nothing's really happening right there. We're going to run this, guys, all the way till about 1 o'clock today. So we're going to do the entire morning session. So stick around, because we're going to run this thing all the way through until we really try to squeeze as much as we can from the spectrum. Okay, so we hit the 80 again, but it has not crossed, okay? There's no crossing here. It could bounce the way it did right here, okay? So let's let it shake out. And there we go, you got a little bounce. Trading is waiting, guys. You gotta wait for the setup. Let the setup come to you. Don't chase after trades. That's how you get in trouble, and that's how you end up losing money. So right now, that's exactly what we're doing. We're letting the setup just shake out, and until we actually see a process, then we will take a trade, okay? All right, I'm going to stop it right there because we just finally got the first breakout right there, all right? Momentum finally rose above 0.90, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to flip it over to our 2-minute chart right here, okay? And what do we see on our 2-minute chart? We see momentum above 0. We see momentum right here. It looks like it's going up, and we see this bad boy right here. The whole goal of this, guys, sometimes the timing is not perfectly in sync because you're getting an advance warning on the 1-minute that momentum might take off, okay? So let's give this at least a bar or so to see whether or not it aligns. And what we're looking for is the alignment of momentum crossing right here, okay, just shifting right there, and we're looking for a little shift, or maybe as close to a 0.43 as we can, and we're certainly looking for this bad boy to rise as well. So let's see what happens, okay, in the next bump. And that's right, it's right there. Look, you see, you actually got a very good signal over on the 1-minute that momentum is actually shifting, and it is right there. So you may have to wait just maybe another bar before it happens here. And there you go. Okay, this is what I'm talking about right there, guys. You've got momentum above 0. You've got cycle right there about to cross. You have a nice shift in momentum right there. You can see it just poking its head up right there. This bad boy right here isn't exactly where I'd want it right here, just about to cross above. But it's good enough, guys. It's good enough. I mean, you're right there. You're at the top of the VWAP. There might be room to run. And let's see where this eventually goes if we were to pull a trade right there.
Order filled.
Okay. I have a nice crossing here with cycle to the upside. Let's see where it goes. Here's something I want to illustrate to you guys that's really super important, okay? We got into the trade right here. Okay, and we got into the trade because this is our confirmation chart, the 2-minute. We spotted the early onset of a trend on the 1-minute, and we came to the 2-minute to confirm. Okay, we saw that momentum was up above zero. We waited a couple of bars just to make sure that cycle at least hit the zero line right here, and at least had momentum right here, ready to make a shift to the upside. Okay, we didn't really have this right there where it's at here at 0.43, but that's okay. It was pretty darn close, and I took my chance. Okay, but here's the theme that I want to point out. Notice that you took the trade right here, but you don't officially have confirmation of a trend until right here on the longer waveform. The reason why is because SIMO, when you set it to 14, it's designed to capture the longer waveform in price. And that's exactly what a trend is. A trend is nothing more than a longer waveform in price. So you want to have your indicator tuned to capture that specific frequency in the waveform. And that's the reason I've got it set to 14. Now look at where it spots it right here. This is where it spots the very first confirmation of a trend when momentum actually rises, which is at this bar right here. So how many bars is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're meaning to tell me that I just showed you guys how to capture a 6-bar lead on the entrance of a trend leg? Yeah, that's exactly what you guys just saw right now. Okay, I just walked you through a very systematic process to spot the early onset of a trend 6 bars before it's actually confirmed with the long waveform right here. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all this is a result of the early onset of the trend that we spotted on the 1-minute. So I don't know about you guys, but I honestly don't know how many of you guys would love to have a 6-bar runway before the actual trend gets confirmed. Okay, and that's exactly what I just showed you right here. So let's continue to run this, okay, until we actually get confirmation that the trade is over. Now, there's one specific tool that you use to monitor your trend trades from the inception all the way to the end, and you use PIRMO right here, okay? And PIRMO is just kind of doing its thing right there. You can wait until PIRMO touches the region Y, okay, comes back down and touches it right there. You can consider that the end of the move to the upside, or you can also use SIMO to capture the second cycle rotation of the trend and end it there if you would as well. So we can look at both of those scenarios and see how they play out, okay? It's really super important. Now, here you have the end of cycle 1. How do you know that that's the end of cycle 1? Because this is exactly where the trend begins, right here. And if this is the confirmation of the start of the trend in the long waveform cycle, which is exactly what this is designed to do on a 2-minute chart, then it reasons to say that this is the end of cycle 1. This is the beginning right there. It's always in the direction of the price move, guys. It's a 180-degree rotation to the upside right there. All right. And the reason we don't get out is because we know that there are typically 2 cycle rotations on every trend. Okay. And how do I know this? Because I've seen this thousands of times. Right? I've seen this a lot. And so I can tell you with certainty that on the 2-minute chart, there's typically 2 cycle rotations that mark the end of the swing to the upside. Okay. So right here, for example, look, this is where PIRMO is touching, and this is where it's exiting the trade right there. This is where you'd probably want to get out of the trend and be done with the trade right there. Okay, just kind of fizzled out, and I'd be done with the trade right there. Now, if you wanted to stick around and watch cycle number 2, then you can probably do that to see this bad boy continue going up. But I'd be very happy taking my profits there. That's actually, that wasn't really bad at all. It was 25.014 to 25.085. Very nice move right there. You see, you have the commencement of cycle number 2 right there. Okay, you got the commencement of cycle number 2 right there. So here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna bring down my cycle chart right here Okay. Look at this bad boy over here. We got what appears to be another uptick right there in momentum to the upside. So if I wanted to check and see whether or not this was really going to take off, you just look at your chart right here, guys, and you can tell that momentum is super, super, super flat. It's not really going anywhere. You don't have anything with this bad boy right here. Momentum is still high. You have the beginning of cycle number 2, which might, probably be a small, soft cycle, but as soon as cycle number 2 ends, that's going to be the end of that rotation right there for you, okay? Let me go ahead and bring the cycle chart because we begin the process again, okay? We just took we did one example right now of what you can do to spot the early onset of a trend. I'm going to give you a few more examples of how this works, okay? And you can tell here on the 1 minute chart, guys, how price is in consolidation. Anytime that price is inside this blue VWAP, this cyan VWAP right here, this is chop zone. This is an area that you can almost guarantee yourself that you're gonna lose money. So if price starts bouncing around in there, that's telling you guys that price is consolidating. That's really not a place to begin or start thinking about taking a trade, okay? You know what? Hang on, guys. Just saw this right there, and we saw that this came down right there. It kind of came down a little bit quick. But let's stop and see whether this is the early onset of a trend here on our 2 minute time frame, okay? So you've got cycle coming down, momentum coming down. You got this bad boy coming down right there. Let's give it another bar and see if momentum actually shifts, because it's been flat this whole time. And anytime that it's flat like this, guys, this is telling you that you don't have any momentum in the spectrum at all to move price. And no, you see how momentum just shifted sideways right there? That's on the second bar. So we gave it 2 bars. Nothing happened right there, okay? Yep, nothing happened right there with momentum. We never had a shift to the downside. So that was a fake start to the momentum shift right there that we saw at 10:41. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, here's another example right here, guys, okay? Momentum shifts down right there. So the question you have to ask yourself, guys, is this the early onset of a trend right there? 10:51 in the morning, okay? So we come back over here. We look at our 2 minute time frame. Remember, we're doing an ABC process. Well, this looks nice to me. Momentum is down, cycle is down. A, that's a thumbs up, okay? B, where is momentum in pure mode? It's flat right there, okay? Where is scalp mode? Also flat. Well, let's give it another bar or 2 and see what happens, right? Yeah, we just got a bar right there, and they're both flat right there. Look at that. We just got another bar, so we gave it 2 extra bars and nothing. No confirmation here, no confirmation here, okay? So this, again, is a fake out, and that's how you spot them, guys, on the 2 minute chart right there, okay? Let's go ahead and continue right here on the 1 minute chart. So you just go right back to your 1 minute and you wait. Okay, here we go. Here's another opportunity right here, guys, okay? So it goes up above 0.90. So what do, guys? We flip it over, okay, to our 2 minute chart right here to find out whether or not this is confirmation. So what do? We have cycle going up right there, but momentum is all the way down here. So that's a no, okay? Momentum is finally going up a little bit here, but here it's flat. Look at this, okay? Here it looks like it wants to break, but no cigar, okay? So if I were looking at this, I'll give it 1 more bar. We remember that pure mode needs to be right here, and it's way down here. Okay, that's the extra bar right there, and there's no cigar in this trade. Look at how flat momentum is here in pure mode, and this is after giving it at least 2 extra bars, okay? So no, I like this, I like this, I like this, but this is a no. So we got 2 of the 3 ABCs in the confirmation process. So if this is no, and if it doesn't align, there is no cigar, guys. There is no trade, okay? That's how you spot a fake, and that's how you avoid the noise. Okay, we're here at 0.80. Is this going to drop, or is it going to bounce? Oh, it bounced. Look at that. No, nothing to check, and we're just going to let this bad boy run, guys, okay? A lot of these trades that you're looking at, a lot of these I can't call them trades. A lot of these moves here are not tradable on a 1 minute chart unless you really, trim down to like a 30-second. You're not going to be able to trade any of that. And if you do, they're not going to be very big moves. They're going to be like maybe 10 pointers, 15 pointers at the most. And they're just loaded with a lot of noise. And every time, look at this, every time it hits the VWAP, it bounces right there. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Hit that, bounce right there. So you got to be very careful if you're in an area of consolidation. Okay, here we go. We got another opportunity here. Okay, it just came down right there. Question that you have to ask yourself is this the early onset of a trend? Right there, okay? So what do we do, guys? We flip it back over here to our chart, and what do we see? We see momentum falling, cycle falling. We have, this is good. So A is good, C is good, B is not good, okay? B needs to shift all the way down before we could actually see that and then decide to take the trade, okay? Let's give it another couple bars and see if it actually flips all the way down and we get a nice momentum shift. And if we do, then we can consider taking that to the short side. Okay, that's the first bar after I unpaused it right there. And that's the second bar. And look what just happened with momentum. It went sideways, guys. And that's telling you that you're likely gonna lose momentum to the downside right there, okay? That is not a trade that you want to pursue. So what do? We go back over here, okay? That's a fake out right there, and we don't take that trade. You go back to your cycle chart and you repeat the process. Okay, here we go. We're back at it, okay? Just sunk right there at 11:20. We got to ask ourselves, is this the early onset of a trend? And here we go. Yeah, momentum down, cycle down. Momentum is almost about to shift right there. Let's see if it does, okay? Nope, it didn't. Look at that. It just crossed above the yellow line right there. It's dead. Dead on arrival. That means that it's not going to shift down and it's not going to go down right there. Not just yet. And that's the second bar that we gave it, just to kind of see whether or not it's really going to move. And look at this, guys. It didn't move below the threshold right there. So you bring down your chart. That's another fake move right there. That was just nothing but noise, okay? And that's how you capture and eliminate some of the false head fakes that kind of make you believe that price is going one way when it really goes no. And you do have to have patience for this. You really do, guys. You know, it's not about chasing every candle. It's about being patient and letting the right setup come to you. Alrighty, so here we got another one of these opportunities. It's right there, guys. Just crossed below the threshold. Let's go ahead and look at our 2-minute time frame and see whether or not we actually get any type of move on the 2-minute here within at least a couple candles that would warrant us wanting to take the trade. You already have momentum all the way down here, and it looks like cycle's doing cycle number 2. So this is cycle number 1 right there, and momentum is already pulling price down. You already have a shift here, so you have confirmation number 1 within the first couple bars, okay? I'm going to let it run again and see if we get a momentum shift to the downside over here. Yep, right there. Let me stop it so you guys can see, all right? Within 2 bars of me flipping over to this chart, we got confirmation 1, we got confirmation 2. This is the shift that I'm talking about right there, okay? We also have momentum below the threshold, which is fantastic because this is telling us that momentum is the dominant signal right here. Why is it the dominant signal? Because it's below 0.80 right there. And if that's the case, if this is the first instance of where it's sunk below 0.80, then this is cycle number 1 right there. That's where it is. And this would be the end of cycle number 1, which means this is the beginning of cycle number 2 right there, guys. And if this is the beginning of cycle number 2 and I've got A, B, C, then hell yeah, this is exactly where I want to pull the trigger to the downside and take that trade. Now you're at the 80 bar VWAP right here, guys. And normally when it hits the 80 bar VWAP, it either breaks or bounces. I'm pretty sure it's going to break here because look at how steep momentum is, okay? And if momentum is this steep right here and it hasn't gone below its 0.90 threshold, there's almost a very good chance that this is going to be a continuation of the trend. Not only that, you just began cycle number 2 right there to the downside as well, which is really, really nice. And at this point in the trade, now you're just managing your exit at this point. And what you're looking for, guys, is either the end of cycle number 2, or you want momentum to, come back all this way and hit the threshold right there, okay? And this is what real algorithmic trading looks like right here, guys.
Wow, did you see that? That's what you call precision.
Yeah, it's not subjective. I'm not here, rubbing a crystal ball, or 2 rocks, trying to make heads or tails of what my move is. I've been very structured and disciplined in the whole process of where my entries are, why I took the entries, why we made the confirmation, what worked, what didn't work, So here we go, guys. We just got the end of cycle number 2 right there.
Order
this might
filled.
be a good spot right here to take the trade off, okay? And the reason why is because every trend happens to have 2 cycles, okay? And right here, we caught the first cycle. So unlike most trades where the momentum shift begins at cycle number 1, right here it didn't, guys. In fact, the momentum shift began almost at the start of cycle number 2. And so as traders, if we understand that every trend has two cycles in the same direction, we're not going to sit around wondering what's going to happen next on a 2-minute chart. If you hit the end of cycle number 2 before momentum actually reaches its threshold, that's probably a good sign that you should get out of the trade and be done with it. Now, you've heard me say it before, that in about 35% of the cases, we get a 3rd cycle. It's known as a blow-off top when price is moving up, and it's known as a capitulation when price is moving down, okay? But judging with the speed of the move of this trade, and the fact that here on the cycle indicator, price is already starting to turn up, okay? It's a very good indication that, cycle number 2 is probably dead on in its move, that price is not going to continue downward. You understand? How do you know if it's cycle 1 and cycle 2? Sure, I just explained that a little while ago, but let me explain it again. When momentum sinks, okay, and you get confirmation that momentum actually is in trend mode, and that's when it either comes down below 0.80 or above this red line, you begin counting your cycles. So cycle 1 would end right here and begin over here. That's when the cyan line crosses below the balance point, that's the 0 line, and crosses up. That would be cycle 1 in the direction of the trade, okay? So it wouldn't be like this. Cycle 1 would not be that. Cycle 1 would commence here and end right here where the green arrow is at. And then it would commence over here where the red arrow is and end right here where the other green arrow is. Always in the direction of the move. And they're 180-degree moves, not 360. So it's 180 degrees this way in the direction of the move. So cycle 1, cycle 2, that's the end of it right there. So now you bring back your cycle chart right here, and it looks like we have liftoff right here at 12:02. So we go back to the trend chart and see whether or not this is actually the beginning of a move to the upside. You have cycle going up, momentum going up, but momentum right here has not shifted up strong enough. So let's see where it goes. And if it does shift up, then we'll go ahead and take that trade. Let's wait to see if we can get momentum just a little. Oh, well, no. I was hoping to get momentum a little bit higher to the 0 line right there. It's still below 0. But look what just happened. Okay. Momentum just collapsed right there. I wanted to wait an extra bar to see if momentum actually hit this. And it just kind of like plop right there, okay? And that to me right there looks like it's stalled. So I'm most likely not going to chase that move right there, especially when momentum ends up stalling like that. Let's see if I can get a better cue here on the 1-minute chart as to where price is going to move. And nope, yep, sure enough, man. This is a cycle trade to the upside right there. Okay, and you can tell because you have sine wave formations right there. Sine wave down, sine wave up. This is the end of that move. Price is going to begin to come down. So no way that I'm going to chase that trade to the upside on the 2-minute time frame. Let's wait for another opportunity. That's right. Market conditions did change the trend at that point. Okay, so here we have another one. Okay, let me stop right there. Okay, 12:13 in the afternoon. We want to go back and revisit this bad boy and see right here. So here's 12:13. Is this a setup to go short? Okay, we got cycle below zero, momentum up here. We have this bad boy right here. Let's give it at least a couple bars. You know, maybe this will shift all the way down here, right? That's one bar right there. And maybe we'll get another bar and see if this shifts. If we don't get a shift, nope, right there, guys. This is the second bar, okay? And it's only here in the middle. So you don't have confirmation that that would have been a short setup right there on the 2 minutes. So we continue rolling with the process, right? I'd wait about maybe 2-3 bars at the most, at the very most 3 bars, but you'll normally see the move within 2 bars. So remember what happens with the market, guys. After the market completes its trend rotation, you normally have a cycle that follows. And what's followed now is just nothing but a bunch of noise right here. And it's a lot of little cycles right here. And you could tell it's very, very cyclic right now in a very tight range. Yeah, normally you want to wait 2, max 3 bars. I'd say normally 2 on the 2-minute chart, just to kind of give it the benefit. So now we wait. Like I said, I'm going to run this all the way through 1 p.m. and it's like 12:26 on this little timer in today's session right there, guys. Okay, here's another opportunity that we're going to stop and we're going to look at right there, guys. Bingo, okay? Let's turn it over to our 2-minute chart and see if we see anything on here, okay? That's supposedly a setup to go short. It's telling us, yeah, you know, it's the early onset of a short trend. Well, let's take a look right here, okay? Let's go ahead and run the clock and see. We really need to have the ABC confirmation process down, guys, because if you don't, okay, we just got 1 bar right there. Let's see if we actually get a momentum shift, and cycle also has to come down as well. So there you go. You got 2 bars and nothing, guys, right there. You're in the middle. You got confirmation here. You got a slight confirmation right here, which is not bad as well, but there's no confirmation here. It's stuck in the middle. And if it's stuck in the middle, I doubt that that's going to go anywhere. And you can tell here in the 1 minute that this trade to the downside is absolutely over. And guys, this video will be made available to you on our YouTube channel as well as on the Discord. So you guys can play it back as much as you want to kind of, it's part of a playlist. It's part of a playlist called Hunting Elephants. That kind of walks you through the exact process that you're seeing me play out right now, okay? This is just one style of trading that we have within our system. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on a second. We just got a little shift here to the downside. So, you know, first thing we want to do is confirm it, guys, okay? Don't have a lot of time left. It's only 12:43 here on the clock, okay? And here we go, guys, okay? That said, it might be a setup to the short side. Let's see if this really pencils out within the next couple bars. I see cycle going up, okay? And I don't see momentum shifting right here. And I also see scalp mode going up as well. Okay, see a slight shift right there to the downside and momentum. So let's go ahead and take
order filled.
A short trade right there, see where that goes. It is stuck. Let's go, come on. Okay, let's start counting our cycles right there, guys. You got cycle 1 right there. You've got the potential commencement of a trend right here, which is where the trend component gets started, but your momentum is really languishing right here, guys. And if it hits this spot right there, then I am out of that trade. You know, as soon as it hits that threshold, I'll blow out and I'll be done with it. That means there was not a lot of momentum to actually move the trade down. But it's going there and it's not hitting it, so I'm still in it. This is probably one of those nerve-wracking trades where I'd probably be at the edge of my seat right now going like, uh-oh. Momentum is barely touching it. Is it going to cross or what's happening? Okay, Looks like his price is going down real nice though. Momentum gonna cross. Oh, it didn't cross. Man, look at that. It just came down. Wow. I was like at the edge of my seat right now going like, holy crap, am I gonna have to get out of this trade? Nope. So let me, you know what? I forgot to put the marker here. We got the shift right there. And we got a shift right there too. So A, B, C right there. Sorry about that. There it goes, guys. There he goes. There he goes. And I promise I'll get to your questions right now. This will be the last one I illustrate, and I'll kind of get to your Q&A real quick. Wow, this came really close, didn't it? I was like, oh, the next bar, it's going to cross up, and I'm going to have to get out of this trade. And no, it just flipped down and just pulled everything with it. Man, that was good. Woo!
Wow, did you see that? That's what you call precision.
Yeah, it is precision. Okay, guys. Pure mode just sunk. It's about to sink into the threshold down here, into its threshold at the bottom. So you know what the rule is to exit this trade, right, guys? The moment that it tilts outside the threshold, that's when you're done, okay? That's when it is game over. Yeah, that was real close, right, Mohammed? I was sweating that. I was like, oh man, am I going to have to get out? But no, it didn't cross. It just skimmed it and came down and brought everything with it right there. Looks like it was swimming back to catch the down wave. Oh, totally, totally, guys. And this is where your discipline really pays off. You can't jump the gun and just take the trade off. You have to have confirmation with your moves in every aspect of what you do in your trading process. And right now, our confirmation here is when this purple line tilts up above this threshold. And the moment it tilts up, that's it, guys. That is game over. There is nothing else left in the move. That's it right there. That's where we buy filled. And that's where the trade ends. Okay, guys?
Wow, did you see that? That's what you call precision.
And that's what real algorithmic trading looks like, guys, okay? All right, and we'll let this bad boy just kind of roll back a little bit so you can see. Oh, and by the way, you have the commencement of cycle number 2, okay, and the end. It's almost done. It's not yet above the zero line, but the moment it crosses the zero line, that's going to be the end of cycle number 2. We'll just wait to see that happen. Right there. There you go. Right there, guys. That's the end of cycle number 2 right there. Okay. So there you go, guys. You know, that's just kind of give you a little bit of perspective on how this is done. And I really wanted to walk you guys through the process so you guys could actually see it. Now, here's a challenge I have to everyone that's part of our community, okay? I really want you guys to replay today's session. Use SimulPro on the 1 minute, watch where price enters the threshold zone, then drop to your 2-minute chart and confirm the ABC structure. And then mark your chart with entry and exits as you would have taken the trades, okay? And you can send me those charts via Telegram, and I can tell you whether you're off point or on point, okay? This is how you get better, not by guessing, but by refining, guys, okay? So do the work, do the homework, okay? This is the way you get good at what you do in your game, all right? So also, guys, if you're still on the outside looking in, wondering if this could help you, let me make it real simple, okay? Predictmo is now available as a standalone tool. That's right, guys. It's still part of the bundle, but it's also available as a standalone tool. You have the volatility indicator that's free on the NinjaTrader ecosystem, our gift to you. And you can start your 7-day free trial today. The link's in my bio. You don't have to keep trading blind. You don't have to keep blowing accounts if you're with the prop firm. All it takes is one decision to change your entire approach.